gonna be making a wild mushroom risotto with aged Parmesan and chives. Risotto is a restaurant favorite because most people think they cannot make it at home. Well, we're gonna prove you otherwise, how you can make restaurant-worthy dishes at home. This risotto will be better. We're gonna be making the risotto from beginning to end as a perfect base. The mushrooms will be on the side. A risotto takes about 25 minutes. So the first thing we're gonna do is start cooking the risotto. While that's cooking, we're gonna be sauteing the mushrooms. We're gonna need the vegetable stock, chicken stock, or even water. If you're using water, make sure you add some salt and some seasoning to it. We're gonna be using chicken stock today. I have the risotto, some shallots, and some white wine. Pan's at medium-high heat. We're gonna add some olive oil and a touch of grapeseed oil.
Why do you mix that?
So it doesn't burn so much and the flavor is not as pronounced for the olive oil. Now we're gonna add the shallots. We're gonna cook it for about 5 minutes till they're soft, but no color. I am using shallots, but you can also use white onions. Also, make sure that your chicken stock or your broth is heated right now. You want to always add warm liquid to your risotto, not cold.
Should you keep stirring that?
You just don't want it to burn and want it to cook evenly. So yes. Another tip when you're making risotto, it's 1 part rice and 4 parts broth. So 1 cup of risotto and 4 cups of broth. If you want to have a little extra broth just in case, I recommend that also. So the 5 minutes have gone. Now I'm gonna add the risotto. Basically what we wanna do for about 2 minutes is toast the risotto. So it's toasted for about 2 minutes. I'm gonna add about a cup of white wine. We're gonna mix it around till all the white wine evaporates, and then we're gonna start adding our broth. Right now is a good time to add a couple of pinches of salt and some fresh black pepper. As you can see, the wine has been evaporated. Now we're gonna add about 3/4 of a cup of broth each time. We're gonna add more broth every time it evaporates. Risotto usually takes 20 to 25 minutes. So after about 15 minutes is when we're gonna start tasting it to see how much longer it is. I like a large flat pan as the risotto cooks evenly in one single layer. So the risotto does take some babysitting, so you don't want to ever leave it alone. But I do have an extra saute pan here that I'm going to saute the mushrooms in. So everything is close by and I don't got to go anywhere. So to a pan, I'm adding some grapeseed oil, getting it hot. Then I'm going to add the mushrooms, saute them really well. And halfway through, I'm going to add some thyme and some garlic. Pan is hot. Now we're going to add some shiitakes and some Crimini mushrooms. That should be good right there. Add a little bit of salt, pepper. A little bit more oil. So we have 3 things going on right now. The broth, the risotto, the mushrooms. But everything is close by, so it's not too bad. The mushrooms are almost there. Sauteing them right now. And adding some more broth to the risotto. Now I'm going to add some garlic to the mushrooms and some thyme. As you can see now, the risotto is getting bigger, the volume is growing. And again, and now what you want to do after 15 minutes is just taste a little bit. Gives you an idea of how much you have left to go. It's getting softer, creamier. And I'm gonna add some more broth, and I think it needs a little bit more salt. You don't want to over season the risotto because you're adding a lot of Parmesan cheese at the end.
So do you have to use up all the broth?
You might have some left over, but it's better to have some left over than not enough. See, the ratio is usually 1:4.
So when do you know that it's done? When you use up all 4?
When you're almost, yes, when you're close to having it all gone, but again, by tasting it. Risotto's almost done, mushrooms are done. Now I'm gonna cut the chives to garnish the risotto. Also make sure you have your Parmesan, so we're gonna grate it right when it's done. Another tip for risotto, we're about 2 or 3 minutes away on the risotto being done. Once it's done, we're gonna turn off the heat, add some butter and some Parmesan cheese. If you ever see a recipe that they add heavy cream, whipping cream, skip it, don't do that recipe. Because no Italian would ever add heavy cream to their risotto. Also, when you make your risotto, it should be soft and creamy. It should not be like a pile of rice. Again, it needs to be creamy, and if it even goes flat on the plate, it's still, that could be a very good risotto. Don't need to serve it always on a plate. If you have a really nice bowl, a bowl will be good because when it goes flat, it holds it up just a little bit more. Tony, you're the last person to taste, make sure it's good. It's good?
Very good. The flavor is amazing.
So if you don't already know, butter adds flavor to most or basically every dish. So now I'm gonna add a little bit of butter to the mushrooms, stir it around so it melts nicely, and now is when you take out the thyme. Now for your risotto, the risotto is done. So now I turn off the heat, I'm gonna grate some cheese and add some butter. Stir it gently. You don't want to break up the rice. You just want to melt the butter. If you're gonna make a mushroom risotto, I'm gonna top it with the sauteed mushrooms, but you can also add the mushrooms right now to the risotto. But what I wanted to show you, this is a perfect base for a risotto, and then you can add anything else you want to it. I added the butter, as you can see, it gives it this extra shine and a touch of more flavor to the mushrooms. Now the risotto had all the cheese and all the butter to it. Mushrooms are ready, let's plate up. It's the fall season and we're using Tony's vintage fall plates for this. Shaking it to make it flat and even. Now I'm gonna top it with the sauteed mushrooms. Two more things left to add. We're gonna add some more cheese and the chives. We're ready to eat our wild mushroom risotto with aged Parmesan and chives. And chefs, if you're cooking in the kitchen, the one thing you need to do when you're sitting down, take off your apron. Hope you like the risotto recipe. If you have any questions, let me know.
Yes, baby. Risotto. You smell it? Good.
Ariana, in about 10 minutes.